Pain is not your punishment, it's your preparation. Life has a way of testing those it plans to use the most. The pain you're feeling right now isn't there to break you. It's there to build you. You think this is the end, but it's really the beginning of something greater. Every tear, every sleepless night, every moment of doubt is shaping you into someone stronger, wiser, more focused. Pain is life's greatest teacher, even though its lessons hurt the most. When you go through pain, you don't just learn who you are, you learn who you can become. And that version of you, the one that rises from the ashes, is unshakable. When life throws you into the fire, it's not to burn you, it's to forge you. You can't build strength without struggle. You can't build character without challenge. The people who shine the brightest have walked through the darkest tunnels. You don't grow when everything's easy. You grow when everything in you wants to quit, but you choose to keep going anyway. That's when pain transforms from an enemy into an ally. It stops being something that hurts you and starts being something that grows you. Think about it. A seed must be buried in darkness before it can rise and bloom. That's you right now. You're in the soil, covered in dirt, pressed down by pressure. But underneath it all, something is happening. You're developing roots. You're gaining strength. You're preparing for your season of growth. Don't mistake your buried season for your dead season. You're not done. You're just being prepared. When you finally rise, you'll realize that every bit of pain had a purpose. When you're in pain, it's easy to question why things are happening to you. You start to ask, why me? Why do I have to go through this? But the better question is, what is this trying to teach me? Because pain is never random. It's strategic. It shows up to expose your weaknesses and strengthen your faith. It strips away the things you don't need so you can become who you were meant to be. If you let it, pain will refine your focus. It will make you appreciate peace. It will give you gratitude for the small victories that you used to overlook. Most people run from pain. They numb it, hide from it, deny it. But the ones who grow, the ones who elevate, they face it head on. They embrace it because they understand something powerful. What you don't face, you can't fix. The pain you ignore today becomes the weakness that controls you tomorrow. But when you face it, when you sit in it and learn from it, you gain control over it. You stop being a victim of pain and start being a student of it. And once you learn the lesson, that pain loses its power over you. There's no success story that doesn't have pain in its pages. The strongest people didn't wake up strong. They became strong because life forced them to. They've been betrayed, rejected, broken, and still, they kept going. They learned that pain wasn't the end of their story, was the turning point. Every storm eventually runs out of rain, but the one who survives it becomes different. They come out with scars, yes, but those scars are proof of survival, not weakness. Scars say, I've been through hell, but I'm still here. You may not see it now, but the pain you're in is setting you up for purpose. The things that hurt the most are the things that will help the most. The heartbreaks, the disappointments, the failures, they're preparing you for a future that's bigger than your past. You can't see it yet, because growth happens in silence. Pain works behind the scenes. While you're crying, it's molding you. While you're struggling, it's strengthening you. While you're breaking, it's rebuilding you into someone who can handle the blessing coming your way. There's power in perspective. When you start viewing pain as preparation, you stop resenting it and start respecting it. You begin to understand that maybe, just maybe, this season is necessary. Maybe the things you lost were never meant to stay. Maybe the people who walked away were never meant to go where you're going. Pain reveals truth. It shows you who's real, what matters and what doesn't. It strips away illusions and forces you to see life for what it really is, a journey of growth through struggle. Don't let pain make you bitter. Let it make you bitter. Don't let it close your heart. Let it open your eyes. You were built for this. You were built for this. You were chosen for this. The fire you're walking through right now will become the same fire that lights your way forward. One day you'll look back and realize the pain that once felt unbearable was actually the reason you discovered your strength. Your strength. That's when you understand it was never punishment. It was preparation. So keep going even when it hurts. Keep fighting even when you're tired. The pain you feel today is producing the strength you'll need tomorrow. Life isn't testing you to break you. It's testing you to make sure you're ready for what's next. Depression doesn't define you. It doesn't make you weak, broken, or unworthy. It's not your identity. It's an experience, a storm you're walking through, not the sky you'll live under forever. Depression is your mind and body's way of saying, I've carried too much for too long. It's not a flaw in your character. It's a signal that you've been strong for so long that your soul is asking for rest. The world often tells you to toughen up, to keep smiling, to keep moving as if everything's fine. But sometimes being strong means admitting that you're not okay and choosing to keep going anyway. You are not your worst days, are not the thoughts that tell you you're not enough. Depression tries to convince you that your life has no meaning, that your presence doesn't matter. But those are lies told by a tired mind. The truth is, you matter more than you realize. You've made it through every bad day you've ever had. You've survived moments you thought you could, and that alone makes you extraordinary. The fact that you're still breathing, still trying, still holding on, means there's something inside you that refuses to give up. And that part of you is stronger than you think. Depression can make everything feel heavy. The smallest tasks start to feel like climbing mountains. Waking up, getting dressed, facing the day, it all feels like too much. And that's okay. Sometimes strength isn't about how much you can do. It's about doing one small thing even when you don't feel like it. Maybe it's getting out of bed. Maybe it's brushing your teeth. Maybe it's sending that one text message. Each small step is an act of courage. Each breath you take in those dark moments is proof that you're still fighting. You don't have to conquer the whole world today. Just take one step. That's how healing starts, one moment at a time. Depression tries to isolate you. It tells you no one understands, that no one cares, that you're alone. But that's the biggest lie of them all. You are not alone. Somewhere, someone has walked this same path, felt the same weight, cried the same tears, and found their way out of the darkness. And they will tell you this, you can make it through. There's no shame in needing help. There's no weakness in reaching out. Asking for help doesn't mean you're giving up. It means you've decided you're worth saving. When you're in that dark space, it's easy to lose sight of yourself. Depression makes you forget your worth, your power, your purpose. But those things haven't left you, they're just hidden behind the fog. The light is still there, even when you can't see it. Sometimes it's faint, flickering, but it's never gone. In the moment you start believing that it still exists, that there's still something worth living for, that's the moment the healing begins. There's a power in being honest with yourself. You don't have to pretend you're fine when you're not. You don't have to fake happiness just to make others comfortable. Let yourself feel. Let the tears fall. Let the emotions move through you. Suppressing pain doesn't heal it. It only buries it deeper. Healing starts with honesty. It starts with saying, I'm not okay, but I'm trying. And that sentence alone carries more strength than most people would ever understand. Don't compare your healing to anyone else's. Depression doesn't have a timeline. It doesn't care about deadlines or expectations. Some days you'll feel okay. Other days you'll feel like you're back at square one. That's normal. Healing isn't linear. It's a process of falling and getting up again. And each time you get up, no matter how many times you fall, you become stronger. The very act of choosing to get up again and again means depression hasn't won. Remember, depression doesn't mean you're weak. It means you're human. Life can be brutal. It can break you, test you, and stretch you in ways you never imagined. But the fact that you're still here means you're built differently. You were made to endure differently. You were made to rise again. You're not damaged. You're developing. You're not broken. You're becoming. Sometimes the most powerful transformations come from the darkest pain. The butterfly doesn't emerge without the struggle of the cocoon, and you won't emerge into your full self without this process of breaking and rebuilding king. Depression may make you feel powerless, but you still have choices. You can choose to show up for yourself, even in small ways. You can choose to speak kindly to yourself, even when your thoughts are cruel. You can choose to believe that the way you feel now isn't permanent. And every time you make that choice, you take a little power back from the darkness. There will come a day when you'll look back and realize how far you've come. You'll remember the nights that almost broke you, and you'll smile because you didn't let them. The version of you that's reading these words right now, the one who's tired, take one step at a time. That's all you have to do. You don't need to see the entire path ahead of you. You just need to take that next small step right in front of you. When life feels too heavy, when your mind is tired and your heart is drained, remember this, progress doesn't have to be loud or dramatic. Sometimes progress is quiet, slow, almost invisible, but it's still progress. Every little moving forward, no matter how small, matters more than you realize. When you're going through dark times, your mind will tell you that nothing you do is enough. It will whisper that your effort doesn't matter, that your steps are too small to make a difference. But that's not true. The journey to healing, to success, to peace is built one step at a time. No one climbs a mountain by jumping to the top. They take it step by step, breath by breath, often with trembling hands and tired legs. But every step counts, even when you slip, even when you fall. As long as you get up and move again, you're still climbing. Some days, that one step might be getting out of bed. Other days, it might be going for a walk, calling a friend, or doing one small task that moves your life forward. And there will be days when even those small things feel impossible. On those days, your job isn't to do everything. It's simply to do something, one thing. Because the truth is, small steps build momentum. One tiny action gives birth to another. And before you know it, you're not where you started anymore. Too often we overwhelm ourselves by looking too far ahead. We think about everything we need to fix, everything we need to do, and it feels like too much to handle. That's when the mind starts saying, it's pointless. But if you shift your focus to what's right in front of you, to the one step you can take today, the impossible starts to feel possible again. You don't have to figure out your entire life today. You just need to survive this hour, this minute, this breath, one at a time. It's easy to feel discouraged when you can't see immediate results. You start wondering if you're even moving in the right direction. But remember, growth doesn't always show right away. Just like a tree, your roots grow before your branches do. The work you're doing now, the small, consistent steps, is strengthening you beneath the surface. You may not see the results yet, but that doesn't mean nothing's happening. Change takes time. Healing takes patience. Success takes endurance. Taking one step at a time also means giving yourself permission to slow down. We live in a world that glorifies speed and perfection, but real transformation rarely happens fast. It happens when you choose to keep showing up, day after day, even when it feels like nothing's changing. Progress isn't about how fast you move. It's about your willingness to keep moving. The turtle may move slower than the rabbit, but it still reaches the finish line. The pace doesn't matter. What matters is that you don't stop. Sometimes the most powerful step you can take is to simply pause and breathe. It's okay to rest. It's okay to gather your strength. Resting doesn't mean quitting. It means recharging so you can keep going. Even in your stillness, you're growing. Because the moment you decide to keep moving after resting, that's courage. And courage isn't the absence of fear. It's a decision to move forward despite it. Don't underestimate the power of one small step. Every major success story you ever heard started with one simple action. Every mountain climber took a first step. Every writer wrote a first word. Every healed soul took a first breath of hope. You don't have to have all the answers or a perfect plan. You just need to start. You just need to take that first small, shaky step and trust that it will lead to the next one. When you take one step at a time, you begin to build trust with yourself. You start realizing that you're capable of more than you thought. Each step becomes a promise kept to yourself, a sign that you're not giving up, that you still believe in something greater ahead. And the more steps you take, the stronger that belief becomes. You begin to understand that even slow progress is still movement, and movement is life. Some people think progress has to look big. They think they need to make massive leaps, huge changes, grand gestures. But that's not how real growth works. Real growth happens in the quiet moments. When you choose to try again after failing. When you choose to get up after being knocked down. When you take one more breath in the middle of chaos. The small victories, the silent steps, the moments no one else sees, those are what build your foundation. And let's be honest, sometimes you're not going to want to move. There will be days when you feel like you can't. But even on those days, you can do something small. Say a kind word to yourself. Drink some water. Take a deep breath. Look at the sky. Let your struggle refine you. Don't let it define you. The difference between people who rise and people who stay down isn't the struggle they face. It's what they choose to do with it. Every one of us goes through moments that shake our soul, that test our limits, that make us question everything we thought we knew about ourselves. But here's the truth. The same pressure that crushes some people builds others. The same fire that destroys some becomes the reason others shine brighter. It's not about what happens to you, it's about how you respond. Struggle has a way of revealing the truth about who you are. It strips away the comfort, the noise, and the pretending. When life hits hard, the mask comes off and what's left is your raw, unfiltered self. That's where you find your real strength, not in the moments when everything's easy, but in the moments when everything hurts. Struggle forces you to dig deeper than you ever thought you could. It exposes weaknesses so that you can transform them into strength. It pushes you beyond what's comfortable so you can grow into what's capable. When life gets tough, most people want to escape. They want to avoid the pain, skip the process, or numb the feeling. But you can't heal what you refuse to face. Growth doesn't happen in avoidance. It happens in endurance. The only way out is through. Every storm you face has a lesson. Every obstacle has a message. Every heartbreak has a hidden blessing. The challenge is learning to see it, to trust that the pain has purpose even when you can't see the reason yet. Think about gold. It doesn't shine until it's put in the fire. The heat burns away the impurities, leaving only what's pure and valuable. That's exactly what struggle does to you. It burns away fear, ego, and weakness, leaving behind discipline, resilience, and wisdom. You may not like the heat, but you need it. Without pressure, there's no polish. Without fire, there's no shine. Life isn't trying to destroy you. It's trying to develop you. The moments that feel like breaking points are really turning point. Every setback has the potential to set you up for something greater, but only if you let it. If you spend your energy complaining about the struggle, you'll stay stuck in it. Cool. But if you choose to learn from it, you'll rise above it. The struggle is a teacher, and it's only when you stop running from the lesson that you start to understand its value. You begin to see that every scar tells a story of survival. Every challenge you face becomes proof of what you can handle. Sometimes struggle is necessary because it breaks down what was never meant to last. It clears away people, habits, and mindsets that were holding you back. You might not see it now, but the pain is pruning you for progress. You can't grow while carrying what's meant to be left behind. The struggle is the universe's way of saying, we're stronger than this. You're ready for more. And sometimes the only way to discover that truth is to be pushed beyond your comfort zone. It's easy to have faith when life is going right. It's easy to believe in your purpose when the road is smooth. But true faith, real belief, is proven in the struggle. It's when everything falls apart that you find out what you're really made of. You can't learn endurance without resistance. You can't build strength without struggle. Every battle you face is building a version of you that's unshakable. That's why you can't quit in the middle of your fight. You're in the middle of becoming. Struggle teaches you perspective. It shows you how to appreciate the things you once took for granted. It humbles you, reminding you that life is fragile and unpredictable. But it also empowers you, reminding you that you're capable of surviving the worst days of your life. You start to understand that everything you go through shapes you. The pain sharpens your empathy. The failure strengthens your faith. The disappointment deepens your patience. Nothing is wasted. Not one tear, not one sleepless night, not one heartbreak. When you let struggle refine you, you start viewing pain differently. Instead of asking, why me? You start asking, what is this teaching me? That question changes everything. It shifts your focus from suffering to strengthening. It turns victims into victors. Because the truth is, you can't control what happens to you, but you can always control how you respond. The strongest people aren't those who never fell. They're the ones who kept getting up, who turned their wounds into wisdom, their pain into purpose. And remember this, you can't inspire others with a life that's never been tested. The people who changed the world aren't the ones who had it easy. They're the ones who turned their struggles into stories of hope. They've been broken, bruised, and beaten down, but they didn't stay there. They let the struggle shape them into leaders, dreamers, and fighters. Your story can save someone else. The things you've been through, the nights you cried, the times you thought you wouldn't make it. None of that was wasted. Every moment of pain, every setback, every struggle was writing a story inside you that the world needs to hear. You might not realize it right now, but your survival is someone else's inspiration. The strength it took for you to keep going is the strength that someone else is praying for. What you've overcome gives others permission to believe that they can overcome too. Too often we think our stories don't matter. We tell ourselves that no one would care, that what we went through isn't worth sharing. But that's where we're wrong. There's someone out there who feels exactly like you once did, lost, hopeless, broken, and they're waiting to hear that it's possible to come out on the other side. They don't need a perfect story. They need a real one. They need to know that somebody else has felt the same pain, faced the same fear, and still found a way to stand tall. And that somebody is you. When you've been through pain, it gives you perspective. It gives you empathy. You start to see the world differently. You understand the battles people hide behind their smiles. You recognize the strength it takes just to keep showing up. That's the gift your story carries. It allows you to connect with others in a way that comfort never could. People don't grow from perfection. They grow from pain that's been transformed into purpose. Your story, with all its scars and stumbles, is proof that healing is real and that hope is worth holding on to. Sharing your story doesn't always mean standing on a stage or speaking to a crowd. Sometimes it's a quiet conversation with someone who's hurting. Sometimes it's a message you send, a post you write, or an act of kindness that said, I've been there too. It's the courage to be vulnerable in a world that teaches us to hide our wounds. It's the willingness to say, I didn't have it all together, but I made it through. That honesty can breathe life into someone who's ready to give up. The truth is, your story carries power because it's real. Nobody else has lived your exact experience, felt your exact pain, or learned your exact lessons. That makes your journey unique, and that uniqueness can touch hearts in ways you can't even imagine. You don't have to be famous or successful to inspire someone. You just have to be authentic. When people see you standing tall after being knocked down, it gives them hope that they can do the same. Every scar tells a story. It's proof that you fought something that tried to break you, but it's proof that healing is possible. The things you used to be ashamed of, the moments you thought disqualified you, can actually become the very things that qualify you to lead, to love, to help. The world doesn't need more perfect people. It needs real people who have walked through pain and learned how to rise again. Because when you show your scars, you give others the courage to face theirs. It's easy to want to forget the hard time, to bury the past, to move on and never look back. But if you look closely, you'll see that the pain you went through holds purpose. There's meaning in the mess. Maybe the heartbreak taught you compassion. Maybe the failure taught you perseverance. Maybe the loss taught you gratitude. When you begin to see your experiences not as punishments, but as preparation, everything changes. You start to understand that your story was never just about you. It was about who you had become and who you'd help because of it. You have no idea how many people you're inspiring just by surviving. There's someone watching you quietly, encouraged by your persistence. They see you showing up despite the odds. They see you trying again after every fall. And even though they may never tell you, your resilience is giving them hope. The world needs more people like that. People who don't just talk about success, but who live through struggle and still keep believing. People who are real enough to say, I've been in the dark, but the light came back. When you share your story, you build bridges. You remind people that pain is universal, but healing is possible. You show them that even when life gets ugly, there's still beauty to be found in endurance. You teach by example that falling doesn't mean failure. It means you had the courage to try. Someone who's on the edge of giving up could hear your story and take one more step forward because of it. That's how powerful your experience can be. The beautiful thing about pain is that once you've overcome it, you can help others find their way out too. You become the guide you once needed. You become the voice that says, I know what it feels like, but keep going. You become the reason someone else doesn't give up. It's legacy. Legacy isn't about money or fame. It's about impact. It's about leaving behind something that reminds others they're not alone.